you're a little older now. I don't think you'd fall into the habit now anymore. So don't prove me wrong. But we still passed out cold, but we're starting to wake up, so.
He's passed out cold. He's passed out cold. Yes, passed out.
All right. I think I've reconnected. Have some internet problems. But it seems I'm reconnected now. So that's cool. Hello, and welcome back to Fred and Ferd's stream. All right, so list get an index. Let's try to wrap our heads around what this does. So it's going to grab the list variable that we have created. There's only one list variable right there. And we are going to use the playback index, which we set to 0 at the beginning. And we're going to reuse this variable, SimEon current color. So at the 0 index, we're going to store whatever's in the 0 index on this variable. And then I'm going to send the message activate playback index. Dang, fly. I'm going to kill it. So activate playback index. If SimEon's current color is equal to 1, red button press SimEon. And this goes for these 4 numbers that could be what is in this index at this playback index spot. And so there is a SimEon message that comes out. So the system can differentiate if the player's trying to press the button or if SimEon presses the button. Now, all of these button press messages get funneled into advanced playback index timer. So everything has like a 0.4 second. That's how we get some time. I don't think I'm going to need to stop the rule unless I put like a quit game button in or like a reset button. But I'm not worried about that right now. We're just going to leave it the way it is. And so after the timer, we're going to advance playback index. And this is where this particular board is super awesome, because it does a lot of the work for you already. So when we advance playback index, we're going to grab that variable. We're going to add 1 to it. And now that's that variable. And we're going to just take this message and hop back up into list get at index. And what this does for you is it's going to check the whole array every single time once it's SimEon's turn. And because it does that, because on out of bounds, it starts the player's turn. So once it gets to the array that doesn't exist on like the right side of the number line, then it's going to start the player turn. It is so conveniently nice. Thank you, Nasmin, for the lurk. Appreciate you. My stream crashed. Well, my stream didn't crash. My internet went down. All right. So I think that was a good explanation of that. So once the array runs out of bounds, it sends start player turn. So that's when we give control over to the player. You can see start player turn. changes the status text to your turn. So let's use this message. Start player turn is going to turn this text on for us. All right. So on start player turn, we change playback index to 0, input index to 0, showing sequence to 0, player turn to 1. So once the player gets to push the button, it only works when player turn is turned to 1. That's the only time when the player pushes those buttons it's allowed to work. So red button pressed. If I go back up into red button, you can see that red button just pushes out this message here, red button. So there's a compare number at the beginning that says, hey, is the player turn equal to 1? And if it is, then we're going to send red button pressed. This is the player version of it. This is the SimEon version of it. Red button reset. And so what happens is whether the visuals are basically the same and the sounds. So these messages get funneled into turning off the bright version of the button. So we push the button, and if the player is 1, then it gets to here, and also it checks it again, which I don't know if that might be redundant. At this point, this might be a redundant step, but it is in here. So if it's equal to 1, set input red. So we're going to change player choice to 1, and then we're going to compare player input at the index. So the player can choose red, blue, green, or yellow. And depending on which one they choose, we're going to change the player choice to 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, so we had compare player input at index. That hops over here. And we have another list to get at index rule that's working. And so this is checking to see if the player's correct on the memory. So we grab the list variable. We say the input index at the input index, which we set at 0 at the player turn. We're going to grab what's there and we're going to store it in the correct color. So it's going to store the correct answer at index 0. Then we're going to compare the player input. So compare player input hops right up here. Is the player choice equal to the correct color? Or is the player choice not equal to the correct color? If that's true, then we're going to get a game over. So let's hop down here, and I want to show the status text on game over. I might do a different one for game over, but for now, let's just do that. So where are we at? Right here. Correct player input. So if it is correct, though, we're going to grab the input index and add 1 to it, and that's the input index. And then we're going to check if the sequence is complete. So we go up here and we say, is the input index greater than or equal to the sequence length, which we already grabbed earlier. And if so, we get sequence complete. Sequence complete is something that goes ahead and it changes all this stuff. Correct. Sequence complete, correct. Okay. Sequence complete. So once the sequence is complete, player turn is off. Complete. We take the current streak and we set it to the sequence length so that we can see what the current streak is, and then we compare best. If your current streak is greater than your best streak, then we're going to set the best streak and we're going to send it to the leaderboard. And if the sequence is complete, this is the only one that I have longer than 0.4 seconds. I have it at 0.7 seconds. We're going to add the new color, so that's where it goes back to Simon's turn. Then we have a game over board. Game over is showing screen 0. So this is what shows screen 0 extremely fast. That I kind of want to have a game over screen instead. So instead of send message, we're going to add a timer. Start a timer. And let's just have it last for like 3 seconds for now. What I probably would rather have is some sort of HUD element, but I'm not going to build that this round. So for now, we're going to have a 3-second timer. And we're going to go game over. You can use this advanced playback index timer. And then the message to send would be hide. Or I mean, it would be show screen 0. And then just to have like something for now. Maybe we could play like all the sounds at the same time if you lose for now. So we'll also add it for game over. Game over. Game over. Game over. Oops. Let's give it a save. So let's see what's working. Start game. I think I'm just going to leave that text up at all times over here. It happens way too fast. So let's just go ahead and not delete this for now. Yeah, delete that, delete that. I want to show. And I want to hide. And I only want to do that with Just in case we want to change this in the future, we can still go. We're going to show the status text when we hide screen 0. We're going to hide the status text when we show screen 0. So that's on, well, I don't know what to do. Okay, let me try to grab this variable because I want to move it.
I have it right here. I'm doing.
Let's try to put these back on top of each other. And then also, can I take, I want to take the label off this. I know I can. Show the label? No.
Just us.
So, I want the label off. Oh, that was the text timer. Game status, status text, label off. There we go.
What are you doing? It's green. It's a game for me.
So at least the text is up and is working.
Oh, he is such a good class. What is this?
So we need a better game over. Let me see if the portals are working. So if we go publish, single player, mobile support, I think that's good. Update this. All right.
How do you pick stuff up?
Let's try to open in a new tab here, and we can go. The Stroop effect competition fell off.
I've only gotten.
Let's go here. Actually, I'm curious first. I want to go to right here. Wonder if it paid people out.
Okay. We got 5.
Let me know if it paid out.
Oh, you just have to.
But this competition is still going on, where you can go on and have the longest streak.
Oh, I should have
250 coins.
grabbed the sack.
Let's see if the portals are working.
Wait, shit.
Fred's portal. I want to go to what passes through. You're about to travel to what passes through. This will leave the current experience. Enter experience.
Here you are. How do you get? I don't know.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. This game still works too.
I grabbed the campfires at 65. I haven't been much left. I have
Boom, boom, boom. This was the first game I ever made. An Eon editor. It still works. It even works a lot better than it used to. Because you can, like, throw things with force now. Anyway, that's cool. That you can just portal around places now. And so you could also portal to the Stroop effect from there. So if I go into here, then we can go to Fred's portal and go to the Stroop effect test instead. Oh, that's so fun.
Should I go out farther? I'm trying to go. Wait, where's shit? Where's shit?
Blue, red, purple. You can play that on the phone too, it's faster. All right. Well, I've got hungry kids wanting lunch, so I'm gonna go make that. But I appreciate everybody hanging out today. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really excited about Eon, OLYEON still. I had a lot of fun messing with the array, and I hope you can see how long your memory sequence can sustain. All right, much love, everybody. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you later.
What is happening?
Bye-bye. As the curtain closes, there it goes. See you later.